GETTYTheresa faced calls to resign only weeks agoTheresa May faced calls to resign as party leader only a fortnight ago and last week lost an important Commons vote after a rebellion from pro-conservative MPs. But now cabinet ministers and senior backbenchers fear a resignation before 2021 would cause the government to fall and ruin all the progress made on Brexit negotiations, which are likely to continue after Brexit. One senior minister said, Mrs. May will have to stay on indefinitely, not least because the government will fall if she goes. Conservative MP Jacob Rees-Mogg said, she has to stay until Brexit is completed because obviously, it would become the most heated part of any leadership contests. Europe believes that the UK and the EU will only agree on broad principles next year in a document to run between 20 and 40 pages which list areas that are unresolved. Under this timetable, detailed negotiations will be left until after Brexit. Cabinet ministers believe the PM should stay in place rather than there being a leadership contest in 2019 or 2020, one cabinet minister told The Times. Theresa May is not one to up sticks and leave. I'm confident that she will go on long beyond when many people expect. There is no clean and simple moment when she will irk and leave. I think the leadership contest will be pushed back and back. Cabinet ministers fear the potential candidates would scrap key promises made to the EU to appeal to the Tory party's Eurosceptic base. The EU is expecting Mrs. May will agree on the broad principles of a new EU-UK relationship by next October. The Brexit Cabinet Subcommittee holds its first talks today on what kind of relationship the UK wants after leaving the EU. According to The Times, a number of cabinet ministers are lining up to agree to a gradual process of leaving the EU after 2021, rejecting new EU legislation as it is proposed. Lead EU Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier said there is no way there can be a bespoke trade deal that mixes those that apply to Canada and Norway. Mr. Barnier told Prospect magazine, there won't be any cherry-picking. They have to realize there won't be any cherry-picking. Jacob Rees-Mogg said she has to stay until Brexit is complete. We won't mix up the various scenarios to create a specific one and accommodate their wishes, mixing, for instance, the advantages of the Norwegian model, member of the single market, with the simple requirements of the Canadian one. No way. They have to face the consequences of their own decision, he added. The Brexit negotiation is unique and extraordinary. It is the first time an EU member state has decided to leave and I'll do everything for it to remain unique. The 66-year-old claimed he was not attempting to punish the UK for its decision to leave the EU. An early leadership election would be beneficial for Boris Johnson and David Davies said, my mandate and the platform I have proposed have nothing to do with punishment. You won't find a single word about revenge or undue hardship in my statements or in those of the French president and other heads of states. Trade talks will begin next year after the Prime Minister came to an agreement with Brussels in the first phase of the negotiations. The EU has issued a 3-page document outlining its harsh guidelines for negotiating the future relationship with Britain, insisting the final deal can only be concluded once the UK has become a third country. Brussels has also said the UK will continue to participate in the customs union and single market during the transition. It will have to comply with EU trade policy, as well as permitting freedom of movement during the expected 2-year period.